Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm here to share another book haul with you. Do I have space on my shelves for this book haul? That is none of your business and not mine today. But I do want to talk about the books that I bought while I was in Boston. I went to 10 different independent bookstores while I was in Boston for 3 to 4 days max. I do have a reel on my Instagram about it, so you can save your bookstores to go to the next time you're in Boston. I picked up signed edition, special edition, independently published books, and I want to share them all with you. So let's get into it. So one of the first stops that I made is Beacon Hill Books, and I picked up a book that my book club was reading that month, which is Keeper of Lost Children. This was our March pick by Sadiqa Johnson. So great. It is a historical fiction in post-World War II Germany, where there are a lot of mixed race children who are residing in Germany that were a collaboration of love between Black soldiers and white German women. And these children kind of get misplaced or unable to be housed in the German women's families due to marriages or family opinions that aren't welcome. Our story focuses on 3 of the POVs that are happening in that time, and the way that they weave together is so beautifully done. I finished this book this month, so it will be in my March Reads wrap up, and I cannot wait to talk more about it because it was so good. And then I went to SideQuest Books and Games, which is a game-inspired, D&D inspired bookstore that has a whole section for gaming and those who love D&D, a great fantasy section, great fiction section, and a really good horror section, which obviously I zoomed in right away. And this is what I picked up. The first book that I picked up is Root Rot by Saskia Nislow. Saskia Nislow is a Brooklyn-based psychoanalytic training candidate, where they live in Brooklyn with their partner and their 3 cats. But this book is a short little horror novella. I love a good horror novella. And it is based on 9 children who are unnamed, and they are traveling to their grandfather's house, lake house, where they go into the woods, and they don't really name the things that they see. They are short and bizarre, and they don't really talk about them or soon forget them. But it explores predatory family dynamics, the boundaries of bodies and home, and how individuals choose to participate in or push back against structures that would harm them. I found this very interesting. Also, it being by a psychoanalytic training candidate, I feel like there is a layer of family dynamics and childhood trauma here that will be spoken on in a horror-esque way. And I love when horror takes on a fictional but very real element of storytelling. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. The next book that I picked up is What Can We Offer You Tonight by Premi Muhammad. Premi Muhammad is an Indo-Caribbean Canadian author, and this is a little novella that's a mixture of sci-fi, magic, described as a fever dream, and I just picked it up as soon as I saw it was by an Indo-Caribbean author, so excited to read this one. Then I picked up Fate's Bane by C.L. Clark. I mainly picked this up because it was a staff pick by the owner of the bookshop, Caroline, and it was described as a sapphic romance with cozy fantasy undertones, and I said, that's for me. So I picked this up as well. And the last book that I picked up at SideQuest Books is Daggermouth by H.M. Wolf. I've been seeing this book everywhere, as I'm sure you have as well. But I'm so happy that I picked this up when I did, because this is the independently published version, and I believe it just got picked up for traditional publishing. So I'm excited to have this copy. It is a thickums, and I am really excited to read it. I've heard nothing but good things. It is a romantasy, but a dark romantasy, if I'm not mistaken. It's calling my name, so hopefully I'll get to this soon. So that's what I picked up from SideQuest Books. I highly recommend going to visit SideQuest Books if you're into novellas, sci-fi, fantasy, gaming books with gaming. There was also a lovely romance section with D&D inspired romance or gaming inspired romance. I really enjoyed that. I think that Caroline did a great job at curating specific books for the vibe and ambiance of SideQuest Books. I was a big fan. After SideQuest Books, I went to Narrative Bookshop, which is an immigrant-owned independent bookstore, and I was able to pick up some exciting signed copies and also some additional Indo-Caribbean authored books. So let me show you what I got. So the first book that I picked up is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I do not own this book, nor have I read it before, which is wild. I'm such a big fan of Weird Girl Lit, and I heard that this book has that type of inspo, and I haven't read anything from R.F. Kuang, so I'm glad that I picked this up. R.F. Kuang recently did an event at Narrative Bookshop, so the bookshop had a bunch of signed R.F. Kuang copies, and I was so excited when I saw that she had a signed collection, because I know that it's not common to see her signed book, so I was really looking forward to that. So I picked up Yellowface. I also picked up Catabasis or Catabasis, however you want to call that out. I have not yet read this one. It has been everywhere, but I haven't been able to find the printed sprayed edges since this got released. So I was excited to see this and have it also be signed. I had to snag that as well. And then I picked up Cleopatra by Sarah Al-Arifi. This is a new twist on Cleopatra's story, and it's supposed to be a very good and immersive retelling, and it's been everywhere, so I had to pick this up as well. And it's also signed. It came with this beautiful art print. The end page is gorgeous, and it's also a signed copy. So I've been thinking about getting this one for a while, and when I saw that it was a signed copy and I couldn't get over this gorgeous art print, I knew that it had to come up with me. And then the last two books that I picked up are Indo-Caribbean authored books. The first one being Anti-Man by Rajiv Mohabir. This is a story that is based on Rajiv's life. He is an author of poetry collections and an Indo-Caribbean queer man. It's also a book that Nanda Reddy, the author of A Girl Within a Girl Within a Girl, one of my favorite books of 2025, has put on my radar. And once I saw it in store, I knew I had to grab it. And then I also picked up Rajiv Mohabir's I Will Not Go, which are translations and transformations of Chetni fractals. This is such an interesting take on Chetni songs. Chetni is a type of music often associated with Guyanese and Caribbean culture. And Rajiv basically took Chetni lyrics and created poems and translations of them from songs throughout the Caribbean diaspora. It's very interesting and something that I thought that I could read and then also pass off to my mom to read as well. So I picked up those two and my R.F. Kuang collection and Cleopatra, and I'm excited to put these on my shelves. The next bookstore that I picked up from is Lovestruck Books, which is in Cambridge, Massachusetts. There is a romance theme as soon as you walk in. Floral arrangement as soon as you walk in is absolutely gorgeous, and you will need to stop and take a photo in front of it before you walk in. I loved Lovestruck Books. There is so much diversity in the type of romance that they have. There is dark romance, monster romance, paranormal romance, sports romance, literary fiction, contemporary romance, queer romance, a huge romantasy collection. I really enjoyed this bookstore, and let's get to what I picked up. So the first book that I picked up is A Lady for All Seasons by TJ Alexander. This is a recent release by TJ Alexander. It is the second book. It's not a series, but this was the book that came out last year by TJ Alexander called A Gentleman's Gentleman, and this is a queer Regency romance. I recently got this one sent in the mail by Vintage, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but when I saw A Lady for All Seasons that came out earlier this month, I knew that I had to pick it up because it was a signed copy. This is a queer Regency romance where our main character is seeking a fortune, seeking some financial support for her family because her family has lost her fortune and is in need of support, and falls into a marriage of convenience, but things unfurl from there. In my Bridgerton bag, because I recently finished the season and I knew that a Regency romance was the way to go, specifically a queer one. I read in the reviews that A Lady for All Seasons is a great exploration of gender identity, which made me want to pick it up even more. So I'm looking forward to reading both of TJ's Regency era books. Another book that I picked up while I was there is One Last Thing Before You Go by Caroline Frank. This is also a signed copy by an independently published author. She is Venezuelan. It was a New York-based romance, and it sounds like there's chronic illness rep, which is also something that drew me in. It is about two characters. Lottie is our main character, and Knox is our male main character, and it's about them teaming up to fix up a bookshop that Knox has inherited. And of course, things kick off in the bookstore, as they do in bookstores, and it just sounds like a really cute romance that's based in New York with chronic illness rep by a Venezuelan author. I couldn't say no. And then the last book I picked up is Your Next Life Is Now by Namrata Mittal. The tagline for this book is a mother and daughter are there for each other on a life-changing road trip. Life is built on single decisions. Choose wisely. You know, I love a mother-daughter story, and it was signed, and I've never read anything from Namrata Mittal before, so I thought I'd pick it up. And those are all the books that I got while I was in Boston. Love a indie bookstore crawl. I will link my Instagram post where all of the bookstores that I visited are laid out. There are some that I purchased from, some that I browsed, but all that I loved. And I highly recommend that you plan a bookstore crawl the next time you are visiting a city that is new to you or one that you already love, because there are always books to be browsed and bookshops to be visited. So I hope that you do that, and I hope I give you a little inspo in regards to your next read. And if you have read any of these books or are also excited about them, comment down below. And until then, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.